Hi, welcome to Camp 4, where living sustainably comes naturally. I'm Kate Ruffing, and I'm happy to talk to you today about mason bees. Now, you may be familiar with the honeybee as being a great pollinator, but you may not have heard a lot about mason bees. And mason bees are actually a native pollinator found throughout the U.S. And what makes them very unique is they're great pollinators. They actually do the work of 200 honeybees. So one mason bee does the work of 200 honeybees, which makes them fabulous pollinators to have in your garden. So if you have a small garden, a big garden, an orchard, these are the bees that you want to have. And they're very easy to take care of. All you need is to provide them a little bit of shelter and access to your orchard or garden, and they'll be off and running. The other thing to know is that they don't sting. So if you're allergic to bee stings, you may have looked past having honeybees, but don't look past having mason bees, because they will not affect you in the same way that a honeybee sting would. So talking about a little bit about setup, what you'll want to do is actually put their hive up on the wall on the south side of your house. So we're on the south side of our Camp 4 house. The reason why we mount it directly at the house is that it gets the full sun exposure, which helps keep everybody warm. And then the other thing is that as the winds blow, the house isn't going to rock. And these guys like to have a stable environment. Now the hive, I'm going to bring you a little closer so you can see the layout of the hive. The hive is pretty easy to set up. I mean, you can see it's not too much, it's not a lot of complexity here. We actually bought these online. This is one model that just uses paper tubes. The tubes here are actually set up so that you just put this out and the bees will fly around. If they're already in the environment, then they'll come and lay their babies in here. Either that, or you can get some starter bees to just get the process started in the spring. This is a different model. We actually get this from Dave Hunter at Crown Bees. He has these wooden blocks. And typically you don't like to use wood because over time this is going to start housing bacteria and fungus that's going to affect your bees. But he actually takes these and he sterilizes them every year for us. So they're fine to use. So we're using wooden blocks, and you can also see these paper tubes that are used. And they're capped on one side, and then they're open on the other, and you put it open side out, and what happens is the bees, when they hatch, will come flying around. They'll find these great little holes, and they'll make a house out of it, and they'll start putting in next year's baby bees and pollen, and then at the end of the season they'll cap that off, and those bees will develop over the summer and winter, and then next year when it gets warm they'll pop out and continue the cycle. We did get some starter bees this year just to get us started. You can just put this out and see if you attract any bees that may be flying around. But we also got, this is filled with approximately 150 baby bees. And as the weather warms up here on the south side of our house, they'll pop out, fly around, start doing their pollinating, and then, like I said, plant next year's bees. So that's really all you need to do, is just give them shelter, some exposure to sunlight, protection from the elements and from predators, and then the right shape, size hole for their babies for next year, and you are into the mason bee world. No honey from the mason bee, but you'll get plenty of pollination. So I hope this gives you enough of an insight to get started with your own mason bees. We find them fabulous, and they've been doing wonders for our orchard. For more about mason bees, take a look at our website, www.camp4bi.com, or also the other great authority is Crown Bees. That's www.crownbees.com. So enjoy your mason bees and have a great season.